Hello, and welcome to the Success Showcase. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin with the Modern Observer Group, and with me, as always, is Chip Janizewski from the Happiness and Success GPS. Happy New Year, Chip. How are you doing?
Great. Happy New Year to you too, Eric. Hope you are well also.
Doing fantastic. And of course, Happy New Year to all of our listeners. This is our first podcast of the new year.
Yeah, I hope I remember to do it because I haven't done it since last year.
Yeah, it's been a while, but we are back. And we have a very special guest today. Chip, why don't you introduce our guest?
Yes, Rocio and I have been friends for a long, long time through networking. I know she is the general manager of Avon Prime Meats here in Avon, which is just a wonderful store, which she's going to tell you all about. But back then, she also had a nice little side business going called Rocio's Mexican American Kitchen or something like that, where she used to just go and bring parties for ladies to their houses, leave them with recipes, have them cook and all this other kind of stuff. So she's done a lot of things. And back then, all of our kids were young. And she just told me she's thrilled because her son is a Texas Christian grad and he's at the national championship football game tonight. So welcome, Rocio. It's so good to have you on.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And we're very glad to have you. So why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell them a little bit about yourself, about your entrepreneurial ventures in Avon Prime Meats.
Awesome. So I have been with Avon Prime for about 10 years. And when I started working with them, I was doing their marketing, while on the side, I had my own little business doing Mexican cooking classes. That's when I had met Chip. Chip has a very special place in my heart because he helped me so much when I was trying to figure out the ins and outs of starting a small business on my own. And at the time, I was considering packaging and selling my salsas, and that ended up not taking off because then I started working full-time for Avon Prime Meats. But it was great. It was wonderful. I have loved my entire time at Avon Prime, and we are a small butcher shop. We also have what you would call a specialty grocery store. We have catering, deli. So we pack a lot in a little place. And I say that we really are a special place. We are all like family. And I treasure that so much, that we are very close to each other, all our staff. We really are like a big family, and we treat our guests like family as well. So it's a very special place.
Excellent.
Really like a home. Go ahead, Eric.
So how did you get into doing cooking classes?
Well, so my degree is in marketing. So I used to work in consulting way back then, before kids and whatnot. But I am an immigrant. So when we moved to the U.S., I'm from Mexico. So when we moved to the U.S. As an immigrant, my husband had a work visa at the time, and I was a dependent of him. So I didn't have permission to work. Once we got our permanent residency, AKA the green card, I was able to kind of get back into things, but I wanted to ease myself into the professional life. So I didn't want to go right back into a corporate job or anything like that, because I was still raising my kids. So at the same time, I had a lot of friends that didn't really know how to cook, and it seemed kind of daunting to them to make a home-cooked meal. And given that I all I know to cook is Mexican food, I was like, let me teach them and make a business out of it. So that was my reintroduction into a working life.
No, and then the parties that you used to have, I mean, I remember talking about them. It's just so much fun. You basically went over with the recipes. I guess maybe you told them, or did you? I can't remember if you brought the food too, but basically.
Yes, I would bring everything. I would bring a recipe booklet. they would choose the recipes ahead of time, and I would bring all the equipment, all the ingredients, and everybody would chop and dice and work together, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was just so wonderful that you were doing that. But obviously, juggling the family that you have and everything else, Avon Prime Meats turned out to be great. And Avon Prime Meats, I mean, when I think of one word that describes that too, besides just wonderful food and everything else, I just think of fun. Because you say everybody knows you by name there when you walk in the door. You do events for everything. You very much cater to local vendors. I know I've referred a person or two in there that is actually selling stuff there, and you've had tastings for them. At Thanksgiving time, you're all wearing turkey shirts saying "Got Turkey," and one you actually gave one to me, and it was wonderful, but it was too small, so it's my wife Nancy's shirt now. But that's what you're all about, and you're very organized for that. I mean, on the day before Thanksgiving morning, you have the pickup times, basically the slots there, and you have it down to a fine-tuned machine. You just walk in, give them your name, wait, and it's in your car within a few minutes, and it's just awesome what you're doing. So I'd imagine it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun going to work.
Yes, and we love it. We really enjoy everything, and we go from holiday to holiday, and every year we make it a little better. So it's our little pride. So yes, we're so happy, and yes, we do support a lot of local vendors, and we support our community a lot.
Yeah, and one of the great things you do is preparing for the holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because everybody's getting a turkey, but for Christmas, you probably have the beef, and for Easter, maybe the hams or whatever. But weeks ahead of time, you set that up where you have a little station right in the front where you can help people plan their meals, not only with the meat, but with the side fixings and so on and so forth. So that when they show up the day before the holiday to pick up things, it's all right there. You just carry it out, and it makes me look like a hero, like I did the shopping, even though Nancy's doing the cooking.
Yes, that's what we're all about. And I say that we're almost like family counselors, because we really sit down with everyone, and they'll tell us their family situation, and who is a vegetarian, and how many kids do they have, and who's coming, who might not be coming. And we help them figure out the amounts of food they need and the balance between dishes and whatnot. So yeah, it takes a lot of legwork prior to the holiday, so that the holiday comes and it's all smooth.
So as general manager, I'm sure you have a lot of different hats you have to wear, a lot of tasks to do. Take us through what a typical day is for you.
Well, my days are always a mixture of things. I'm always running. I spend a lot of time on my feet, and a lot of it is helping people. When we are not planning something, we are reviewing something. So like right now, the holidays just passed. So we are in the process of reviewing what we did for the holidays and what we're doing next for the next holiday. So I help my managers plan their things. We make sure that everything is stocked. I do the scheduling of all the staff, making sure everybody is where they should be. And so yeah, it's like a little orchestra. So everything has to be just right. And so I help guests all the time. And so if I'm not helping a guest, I am in the office planning something, doing some numbers, paying some bills, and it all kind of runs. So it works really well.
And oftentimes I see you behind the meat counter for my meats too. And I mean, basically when you walk into the store, you have the deli section of the meat counter on the right, and then you have the meats, which go all the way down. And then in the back, you have a whole bunch of prepackaged foods that you can take home and cook, ice cream and so on and so forth, and a wonderful store in the middle with all kinds of different things. Produce down the left side. It's just wonderful. But one of the coolest things is going in there, and when you're waiting for your meats, just looking at that chalkboard behind the counter, because you have so many local vendors up there, plus good causes that you support over the years, You've been a great friend to a lot of different people around here. And, again, you're a staple in the community, not only for the quality that you do, but everything that you give back, which is so wonderful. But that chalkboard is really, really neat. It's handwritten and all the really fun stuff up there. I walked in there the final day of the World Cup, watching that on the TV while you were there. So, I mean, it's just very, very, it's like, just going grocery shopping at home.
Yes. Yes, we really, that makes us happy. And that's why we do what we do. Like, when we support all these small businesses, we really are supporting families. We have the small farms that struggle throughout the year. People don't realize how hard it is to have a farm, and the difficulties they face, the higher costs, and they just don't have the resources and everything. So we are so happy when we can help them out and their products sell. Like, we have local bakers. The lady, for example, that makes that Italian sauce from West Hartford. We have an Avon mom that sells the frozen cookies. If every square foot of the store has a touch of local.
Yep, and you're very happy to meet people that have that too. Not that I'm telling people to line up at your door tomorrow and show you their stuff, but you're very, very accommodating. And everybody that I've sent there just speaks the world of how they've been treated walking in there and how fun it is to do the tasting events there, because you regularly have tastings there on Saturdays and sometimes Sundays too, I think.
Yes, so we are trying to get back to do that on a regular basis. We used to do it all the time, and then COVID came. So that changed a lot, because obviously for a long time there were no tastings. There was very little interaction. And then last year we started doing tasting again, and some people are still kind of afraid of that. So we're very respectful, and we use all the safeguards. Like, we use gloves, and we have shields and everything to keep everybody healthy and safe. But yes, so we're bringing that up again, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, a lot of businesses we've spoken to had to go through major changes for COVID. As a food market, you were an essential business, so you were open the whole time. How did you have to adapt?
Well, technology was on our side. To be honest, if we didn't have the technology that we have, it would have been really hard. But we had just switched our systems prior to the pandemic. We switched our systems, obviously not knowing what was coming, in 2019. We were in the process of launching our online shopping store. And, we were taking our time, making sure it was right and everything. And then the pandemic came. So within a month, we had to launch it. And it was crazy. It was, we adapted really quickly. We were very blessed because the system was capable of doing it. So we just had to work at it really fast. And we also had really good people. We had a lot of college students that were stuck at home. They were taking classes online, so they were happy to work. I could write a book about that year. It was quite amazing what we accomplished. Like, the store was empty of customers because nobody was coming into the store, but we were so busy and we were like shopping all around the store. We were doing the personal shopping experience, but online. So we switched everything to curbside, and we were able to succeed during that year, thanks to those two factors, the technology and the people that we had.
Yeah, and you still have the wonderful curbside system there, which is fantastic. I mean, you just go up there, your parking space has got a number on it, and you got a text number to call or a phone number to call, and you just give them your name or whatever, and they deliver it right out to you. And obviously, I'm sure there's some folks that still pick things up that way because some folks really don't ever want to go to stores again. And there's other
Yes.
folks happy to be back there full time. And there's other people who, whether it's convenient or not, they're going to go either way. So, but that system is still so great. And it's especially good on holidays because if those people didn't want to go in on Thanksgiving or the other times to do that, it's the same thing. You just texted, gave them your name, and they brought your order out to the car, whether it was a Thanksgiving turkey or just, I like your Berkshire pork chops on certain nights, and I love your steak tips and your chicken tips and all those other things that they have there. They have a lot of really unique things in the meat department, and it's really, really high quality things that you do there.
Yes, and that was another thing that we were, the beauty of being a small business is we were flexible to run around, and we never had any shortages. People would come and tell us like, the supermarkets don't have chicken anymore. And we're like, we got it. So because we were able to just kind of finagle with all our vendors and be 2 steps ahead. And it was a crazy busy time. It was really like we were spinning the whole time. I would see on Facebook that people were like gardening and doing decorations at home and learning a new hobby. And I was like, oh my goodness, I wish I had some time. But it was also a lot of fun. And we were really blessed to be able to do it.
Fantastic. So with all of the changes you had to make for COVID, now you said you're bringing some of the old things back, like tastings. What do you see coming up for Avon Prime Meats? Where do you see this store going?
Well, we want to bring all the fun back. We want to do like cooking competitions and classes and be able to go to the baseball games, to Little League and all that good stuff again. So I think that's where we're going. That's what we do best. And we just want to be, again, very, very involved with the community.
Yeah, you do have that nice mobile van, which I've run into at a couple of events, like wine tastings and things like that. It goes very, very well there. But I mean, one of your specialties that you have there are the way that you season meats, poultry, and fish instead of just selling, beef and chicken and so on. So where you could go in and just buy a plain chicken breast, you also have separate ways to treat that, gluten-free and everything else, and they're all delicious. And you do the same thing with steak tips.
Yes.
A little bit about that, because I know you have a lot of really great people who have a lot of great ways of doing things in there. So tell us all about how you're doing that things and what some of your specialties are, popular items.
Well, I think that also everybody in our team has their own ideas and their own creativity. So it's wonderful because we all bring a different perspective to the table, and different backgrounds, different taste preferences. So we have our chefs, we have the butchers, we have everybody we're all foodies. So we're always thinking of new flavors that would go well. And we kind of also listen to our guests. We usually do a survey once a year, and we get a lot of good feedback on the survey. So right now, for example, we are experimenting some new flavors that people had requested. So the whole thing about the marinated beef and marinated chicken is to make life easier for our guests. So the chicken is going to taste great because it's already flavored. You just need to either bake it or grill it. And we have some flavors that we found by mistake and some flavors that we planned and we tweak it and we go. One of the mistakes was, our Baja chicken. It's the lemon pepper flavor, and then we added buffalo and sriracha. One of the butchers mixed the flavors by mistake, and we were like, well, let's try it. And then we loved it, and it's now one of our top sellers. So, but then again, everybody has an idea too, and we allow our butchers and our chefs to just try it out. There's always something that we can do, and there's always something new we can bring to the table.
Yeah, one of the options that you do have there, obviously you have the meat counter, which I just love going there and looking at that and just ordering my stuff and waiting. However, you do have a refrigerated department where you have some of that prepackaged, where if you want to pick that up without waiting, you can do that too. So, I mean,
so that's our chefs. Everything that you see in those refrigerators is basically as if you were going to a restaurant without having to pay for a restaurant price. Our team of chefs makes all those meals from scratch. We don't use any preservatives. We don't use anything weird. Everything is like homemade in our professional kitchen. And also they are also very creative. So the same team of chefs that make all those meals is the ones that develop our smoked meats that we now have. And so it's really cool. Like you can get either comfort food like a shepherd's pie or a chicken parm, or you can go thoroughly all out into barbecuing and whatnot. So we try to have a balance of things. And again, it's all to make people's lives easier. Everybody's busy. Everybody has really packed schedules. So if we can make their dinner time simple and enjoyable, that's what we're all about.
Yep, and don't forget a delicious fruit pie on the way out, and maybe some ice cream, because you have
Right.
it too. And
Yes. And those are local too, so it's awesome.
So how many local vendors do you work with?
Over 30 for sure. I mean, just the refrigerators, like 90% of that is local. We also carry beer from local breweries. So the milk is local. The yogurt that we have is from a local farm as well. So yeah, most of our products in the grocery section are local. We get local bread delivered every day. So yeah, it's really awesome.
And you said you work with local farms as well. So you really are working with farm to table, aesthetics.
Absolutely. And we do also, like during the summer, we sell produce from different farms. And we also do farm to table events at different wineries and different farms. So yes, we do a lot of fun stuff with them.
Excellent. So we only have a little time left. I want to go back to something you had mentioned earlier, that you are a first generation immigrant to America. So what drove you to come here and then start working your business? Because you said you had your cooking classes first. What was your motivation?
Well, what drove us to move to the US? At the time, my husband, well, both of us used to work for an American company prior to coming here. He was offered a job and to come to the US. And at the time, Mexico was in a rough spot. Like inflation was really high, and it was a tough time for Mexico. And when we moved here, we didn't know like kind of what to expect. So we then settled here. We had our kids, and we realized that we wanted to give them this better life, like a very kind of a slow paced life. We both grew up in big cities. I grew up in Monterrey. My husband is from Mexico City. So we kind of really started valuing the fact that we could live in the suburbs and have a quiet life and yeah, we stayed. And yeah, when I was able to work after about 8 years, I took a post-grad course, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go back to have a full-time job. And kind of the cooking classes were helping me to do something while I was trying to figure out what to do professionally again. And helped me to decide. And it was like, okay, I don't really want to be in a corporate job anymore. I want to be able to have flexibility and be with my family. And then Avon Prime Meats kind of fit also in there. So it was great.
Excellent. And how long ago did you come here?
23 years.
Oh, so it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yes.
5 years old. She still looks very young.
Yes. She came as a child. Yes.
So yeah, we moved here when my son was 6 weeks old.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And now he's going to the football game for the championship tonight.
Yes.
So
That's how fast it goes.
That's
Yes.
so awesome.
Hey, so before we wrap up, if you had to name one thing that sets Avon Prime Meats apart, what would it be?
The hospitality. We do anything for our guests, and they know. They'll call, and they know that we will cut it just the way their family likes it, that we will package it how they like it. We actually have guests that they have our cell phones and they call us with their order because they like to talk to us. And it's that personalization that's what sets us apart.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Success Showcase. If our listeners want to go to Avon Prime Meats or check you out online, how can they do so?
So the website is avonprimemeats.com, and we are located in 395 West Main Street, which is Route 44 in Avon.
Fantastic. And Chip, what do you think is the big takeaway for this week?
Yeah, their location, for those of you who are local, that's at the corner of Dale Road and Route 44, and it's just before that light where when you take a right, you go to the Stop and Shop Plaza and so on and so forth, right before you're heading towards Canton. But my takeaway, I mean, Rocio mentioned hospitality is that one word, and I couldn't agree more. What I just highly recommend is that you just stop on by and browse around, because there's all different kinds of neat things in that store, even while you're waiting, because it's just so many different things that they have there. So I would definitely do that. Support the local, just like Rocio, and she can probably turn you on to a lot of people there and refer you there. And also, if you go to their website address, I know that you can sign up for their weekly email and get the specials that way. And so I would definitely check that out, avonprimemeats.com, correct?
Yes. Thank you so much.
That just make sure you show up there, and you are open 7 days a week too, correct?
7 days a week. And on Tuesdays, we have chicken and ground beef on sale. And on Sundays, our meals that our chefs make are also on sale, and that's through our loyalty program. So if you belong to our loyalty program, you get 20% off on Sundays.
Yes, I get email every week for that.
Yes.
Excellent. I think for me, the big takeaway is that focus on relationships, both with the customer, with the local vendors, with the community as a whole. That really seems to set Avon Prime Meats apart. And it's something for any business person to remember, is that it's all about relationships with your customers, your suppliers, and that's a great way to stand out over the competition.
Yes.
You've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch every episode at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. We'll see you then.